The Shark Deck.
Yo, what's up? I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Carrie Lake, remember she ran for Arizona governor and lost? Well, she's leading the polls as to who could be Trump's VP candidate. Stephen Colbert said she must have been so honored to have MAGA voters choose her as the next vice president they try to hang. Wow. Fallon, of course, since it's Trump, he'll make the decision after holding a Miss Vice President pageant. Joe Rogan has opened his comedy club in Austin. It is called the Comedy Mothership. Rogan took to the stage and said, "You can't fire me from my own club." The Hollywood Reporter has the story. I'll read their sentence verbatim because it's perfect. "Unvaxxed sperm," reads the poster held aloft by a woman standing outside the theater. And you know you're in the right place. Joe Rogan's new comedy club mecca. Tickets for the opening week of shows went for $40 per person, which the Hollywood Reporter points out is surprisingly reasonable. They sold out within minutes and were being resold online for $500. Rogan on stage wearing, quote, a rather odd Obi-Wan-like sweater. Not sure what that means, and unfortunately I couldn't find a picture. Rogan said, "I'm drunk and on mushrooms at my new club. This is as high as I've ever been on stage. I need to connect with this moment. You can't fire me from my own club, bitch." The Hollywood Reporter adds, the venue's theme is Aliens meets Art Deco. The latter, a respectful nod to the remodeled theater's century-long history. There's a UFO above the door in the lobby, warnings that hecklers will be alienated, and a Stargate-like arch over the main stage. The theater is awash in black and purple. By Austin comedy standards, it's easily the coolest-looking venue in town. That's neat. The opening stretch of shows is billed as Joe Rogan and Friends. The first night included Friends Ron White, who retired from comedy, or maybe just retired from touring comedy. So he's back, baby. Tim Dillon, who I love, Roseanne Barr, and Tony Hinchcliffe, who's bringing the Kill Tony show to Joe's Theater. Tony Hinchcliffe led the audience in a game called Kanye or the Jews. The Hollywood Reporter says the audience in attendance was pretty standard for Rogan shows, which means they over-index on the 3 Bs, bros, beards, and ball caps. I'm getting the feeling the person who wrote this isn't the biggest Joe Rogan fan. Aren't you getting that kind of vibe? Within seconds of the first comic taking the stage, a gay slur was thrown out, followed by jokes about trans people. The audience hooted. For the anti-cancel culture crowd, this is their new safe space. Rogan did a Q&A. He was asked how it felt having his club open. He said, "It doesn't feel real. I know it's real, but it doesn't feel real. I was super nervous today." Joe, what's your next milestone? I'm done with milestones. I think I just like risks. I'm like, oh yeah, let's buy a building on a street filled with crack addicts. Like I want someone to say no to me. They're all like, okay, go ahead. Who is your dream podcast guest, Joe Rogan? He said, Hunter Biden. I could turn this around for you. If my dad had Alzheimer's and I was doing coke, I would have done the exact same stuff you did. I really want to get him on. Wow, okay. The venue has 2 rooms, a headliner room called Fat Man and a smaller stage called Little Boy. Little Boy and Fat Man were the bombs dropped on Japan at the end of World War II, by the way. There's a bar named after Comedy Store co-founder Mitzi Shore. That's cool. Rogan said he's hired the best people from the Comedy Store in LA to run the club. They're doing the Yonder Pouch thing. Oh, that's annoying. No phones. Come on, Joe. It's Wednesday night. I just want to go out for a drink, and you're going to make me lock up my phone. Stop, man. All this stuff's going to get out anyway. Hollywood Reporter adds, security is a bit intense, as you have to get your face scanned like you're going through airport security at Heathrow. No thanks, Joe. Don't want to go. I'll stay home. It's fine. The staff is numerous and friendly. The floor seating feels rather cramped, however, and in a move that feels outdated, the venue has the old school comedy club 2-drink minimum. Roseanne Barr said, I want to thank Joe for building this wonderful mothership for comedians. It's so great in the green room with everybody up there being drunk and smoking pot, just like at the Comedy Store when Mitzi Shore was still alive and comedy was effing king. And then she went here. After 30 years of fighting ABC to have black writers and black characters on my show and then having the same effing libtards turn around and call me a racist, it really effing pissed me off. Not sure what that had to do with the opening of the club, but okay. If nothing else, it'll sure be interesting. Jimmy Kimmel is hosting the Oscars on Sunday. People did an interview with him and asked him about the second most infamous thing that happened on the Oscars. Remember when the wrong Best Picture winner was announced on live TV? Kimmel said, in some ways, it feels like an episode of a TV show I watched and then put out of my head. It was a very intense and confusing end to what was otherwise a pretty great night. He then talked about Slapgate, saying, it's still shocking that happened. To see something like that happen outside of the Maury Povich show is shocking. Dated reference there. And then for it to happen on the Oscars magnifies it by about 1 million times. I think it's something that everybody regrets and will move past. One day it'll be looked at in the same way as that guy running on stage naked is looked at. A weird moment that we all talked about and hopefully we learn from. He commends Chris Rock. I mean, to be slapped in the face and stay that cool is something Chris should be proud of. Chris's grandchildren, I hope, will still be proud of that when he's dead and gone. Huge news out of Eastern Idaho. Guess who's playing BYU Idaho tonight? That's right. Idaho's own Ryan Hamilton, everybody's favorite comedian now. This from the East Idaho News, your home for comedy news. The 46-year-old Ashton man, Ryan Hamilton, who, as you know, is from Idaho, will be performing at BYU Idaho this Friday. His second stop in Eastern Idaho since November, they had. Wait, pre-read the articles, Johnny Mac. This next sentence is horrific. I didn't read this in advance. Oh my God. Hamilton suffered 10 broken ribs, a broken arm, and a punctured lung following an accident in January 2022. More than a year later, he still has some scars. This just took an awkward turn. Leave it in. Hamilton told the East Idaho News, I'm able to do everything I used to do. I'm still working on physical therapy stuff, but I'm able to travel to the shows. I made a lot of progress. It was quite serious, but I'm doing okay. I've learned a lot. Oh my God, John, pre-read these things. I thought we were just going to have some fun with the Idaho bit, and now I've just got this icky feeling of, what did you step in here, John? Hamilton hinted there could be another special coming in the near future. He said, I'd like to sell something sometime soon. We'll see. It's been a while. I feel like I'm ready to put something out. Well, we'll keep you posted, but hopefully soon. If you haven't watched his first special, which I think is on Netflix, you really should. It's really fantastic. And I don't know if it's his first special. His most recent special. Let me put it that way before I start getting emails from the Ryan Hamilton Mafia being like, dude, you said it was his first special. It's obviously his third special. Should I just Google it and find out? Let's do that and get this out of the way. I'm on Ryan Hamilton's IMDb. I've learned here he's Ryan Hamilton the third. He is known for The Oscars 2022, The Comedian 2016, and Inside Amy Schumer 2013. He appeared in one episode of Life and Beth. In 2016's The Comedian, starring Robert De Niro, Ryan Hamilton played Ryan Hamilton. From Wikipedia, his first one-hour special, Happy Face, became available on Netflix on August 29th, 2017. Wow, it's that long ago. That one's really good. Oh, wow. Personal life. Hamilton resides in New York City. In January of 2022, Ryan was hit by a shuttle bus as a pedestrian at LAX airport. And that's where he suffered the 10 broken ribs. He recovered at his family home in Idaho. You ever feel like you started out to do a bit and you got trapped? In sports, we call timeout, so I think I'm going to step out of the huddle, look at the ref, and make a tea with my hands. Be right back.
Welcome to How to Tickle Yourself. I'm your host, Duff McDonald.
And I'm your co-host, Matt McButter. We'll be talking to people who specialize in different ways of inhabiting their own consciousness. From artists to yoga teachers to scientists. We've even got a professional magician.
We're going to ask them questions like, what is consciousness? Why does it tickle? And what is magic anyway? Is it just card tricks, or is it the fact that your little speck of consciousness is part of a perfect possibility machine?
Find us wherever you get your podcasts and at storicmedia.com.
Boy, that was awkward, wasn't it? Kyle Kinane has a new special coming out March 15th for $10, or if you're cheap like me, wait till March 30th and he'll stream it for free. Here's the logline. Kyle Kinane, who is fantastic, by the way. Kyle Kinane is a wild man poet. He's been laughing at anti-vaxxers for some time to their baseless claim that vaccines cause autism. He responds, effing good. We probably need more autistic kids. They're the ones that keep beating robots at chess. It's this type of serious thinking about our collective future that makes his new stand-up special, Shocks and Struts, perfect for our current moment. To him, dinosaurs were God's little tricksters, and a foreskin is the devil's calamari. Using his unique parlance, the beloved comedian transforms our dull world into an emporium of the weird and wonderful. Kyle recently bought a van, a car that fits his look of someone who should be at home plotting to kidnap a Democratic governor, wow, and hit the road to Jehovah's Witnesses bits around the country. With his gruff voice, gentle heart, and ill-fated confidence about hotel buffets, Kyle delivers an hour of keen commentary and messy adventure. He wonders how his pillows turn that color. He explains the way to make everyone in a cruise ship hot tub immediately uncomfortable, and he marvels at pilots who aren't intimidated by the hundreds of buttons in airplane cockpits, all of which should be labeled "Don't Die." That's a pretty funny copy. He's fantastic, and now I feel like I got it. I'm glad I called that time out, right? Now we're rocking first down, Johnny Mac. Let's keep going. All right, on 3. Kyle Kinane is himself a skilled pilot of comedy. In fact, he's like a comedy blue angel, darting and diving, taking big risks, and pulling off tricks. Bert Kreischer's special will be out next week as well. This one called Bert Kreischer Razzle Dazzle. It is his third special. In his special, Bert Kreischer spills in a riotous set on bodily emissions, being bullied by his kids, and the explosive end to his family's escape room outing. Bert Kreischer Razzle Dazzle, streaming March 14th. South by Southwest kicks off tonight. Let's take a look at the shows. Pretty light night one. Variety Power of Comedy is at 8 o'clock, 3 hours long. And this is more of an awards thing. Now, some of the people getting awards, Chelsea Handler, Bob Odenkirk, Patton Oswalt. So it's kind of cool, but like, I don't know, doesn't sound fun, if that makes sense. The comedy keynote has just this weird title, Zizek vs. ZXZW. My God, what is this polycrisis? A comedy keynote in 12 volumes. The bit is celebrity philosopher Slavoj Zizek unpacks to sex and then interrogates the collapse of collapse as a social construct. Boy, this is in deep. But it's James Adomian, Anthony Tamnowick, Matt Besser, Christina Catherine Martinez, and Steph Tolev. That goes from 8 to 9:15. I would much rather go see that. And then that would allow us at 10 o'clock to catch the only other thing on the bill, which is the Super Good Show, parentheses, stand-up comedy, close parentheses. Expect supersets from some of your favorite stand-ups and maybe a few new discoveries. Todd Barry, I'm already in, Catherine Blanford, Sam J., Beth Stelling, Emma Willman. All right, let's keep this simple tonight. Meet you at like 5 o'clock. We'll have a couple beers. We'll make our way over to Esther's Folly for the weird thing that's the keynote with the improv guys. We'll do that till 9:15, and then we'll walk over to the Super Good Show, 10 to 11:15, and that's a nice full night. Boy, that Ryan Hamilton thing really threw me for a loop. I didn't know we were going there. Reread the stories, John. All right, what can I tell you about? Some of the stuff's going to wait till Monday. Let me just clear this out. The Podcast Academy gave out their podcast awards. Best comedy podcast went to, I'll sit here for 5 hours and let you guess, okay? All right, it's now 5 hours later. I edited that to make it easy for you, but I just sat here in silence for 5 hours, and you still did not guess what won Best Comedy Podcast, so I'm going to tell you. The winner is Why Won't You Date Me with Nicole Byer. Best Comedy Podcast. That's your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow. Who doesn't like vacations? Do you need some inspiration for your next road trip? Are you excited to get out there and explore the world again? Hi, I'm Johnny Mac. My podcast is called Travel is Back. Travel is Back is travel for regular people. We hop in the car, we fly coach, we use our miles, we eat at normal places, we stay at normal places. So what I do is I hop in the car, I grab my portable recorder, and I go somewhere. Season 3 kicks off with a road trip to Key West. You can check out the back catalog. There are popular episodes covering Chicago, Nashville, Vancouver, Seattle, a whole bunch more. Travel is Back, road trips for regular people. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows. These are quick, these are casual, and it's for regular people like you. Travel is Back.